On April the 1st, 1964, I fooled my parents 10 days early and came into the world on April Fool's Day. I already had a brother that was 3 years old, and he was definitely waiting for me at home. But the big news was my dad was out in the waiting room, and he finally got his little princess. Life was not always the Leave It to Beaver type family that this picture would imply. You see, my father, he was an alcoholic. He was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of guy. When sober, he would give you the shirt off his back. But when he was drinking, he definitely had a bad side. My mom was the one that kept the family going. Growing up in Athens, Georgia, I played many sports. I was active in my church. My mom taught Sunday school. I attended the University of Georgia, where I water skied on the intercollegiate water ski team. During my summers, while in college, I show skied at Callaway Gardens in Pine Mountain, Georgia. In 1987, I moved to Greenville, South Carolina. Yes, I moved for a guy. I pursued a degree in nursing and worked at Greenville Memorial Hospital, which is now Prisma Care. I was there for 23 years, working with the moms and babies. I loved what I did, and it was definitely my calling. Then, in 2011, my life changed. My career was over, out on my own, and a new beginning. After working with a midwife for a year, helping deliver babies, I decided it was time to start my own business and follow my dad's footsteps. That was how I started Knees for New Moms. I truly believe that was the start of God's plan for my new season. A new season in many ways, one that would grab hold of my heart and not let go. On August the 5th, 1935, in a small town in Elberton, Georgia, my mother was born, Shirley Mae Temple. Yes, you heard me right, Shirley Mae Temple. She was definitely in that era, and as these pictures show you, she kind of looks like Shirley Temple. Mom, too, went to the University of Georgia, and my father, Mom, too, went to the University of Georgia, and my father went to North Georgia College in Dahlonega, Georgia. In December 1956, they married, and life was grand. They had 2 wonderful children, and as Mom's OB said when I was born, you are now blessed with a millionaire's family, a son and a daughter. But in 2000, my father, at the age of 67, unexpectedly died. They had 44 years of marriage. I have lots of memories growing up, but can you imagine a blank page in your life? Memories forgotten, stories mixed up. Not being able to remember your son, your grandson, anxiety, scared, frustrated, and tears. Now that's my mom today. Alzheimer's is not prejudice. It affects any human being that has a brain. It is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and 58 million Americans are living with it. Alzheimer's and other dementias will cost our nation $290 billion this year. Every 65 seconds, someone develops this disease. In South Carolina alone, roughly 92,000 people are living with Alzheimer's. And South Carolina has the highest death rate, number 8 in America. My mom was diagnosed with this cruel disease in 2012, and her sister, shown in this picture, was diagnosed in 2016. They are 3 years apart. My mother is 83 and my aunt is 80. Mom doesn't realize she has Alzheimer's, and when her sister was diagnosed, she said, "Oh, Jan has that horrible disease." If my mother only knew she had that horrible disease too. I guess it's a blessing that Mom has forgotten the day that insensitive neurologist gave her the bad news and let her know there wasn't a cure for Alzheimer's. Mom never accepted the diagnosis, and to this day thinks she's just getting old and forgetful. Being a caretaker is hard work, and being the only one in town makes it even harder. Mom may not live with me, but she is on my mind 24/7. She presently lives in assisted living, but there is always needs, be it milk, fruit, muffins, Diet Coke, you name it. Little Debbie oatmeal cakes, that's her favorite. You know, the staples of life. My mom is now 83. While she is pretty independent, but her short-term memory continues to fade, and the repetition can be never-ending. Recently, I was out of town for 2 days, and I received 35 phone calls. Yep, you heard me right, 35 phone calls. Her long-term memory is still good, as she knows how to use a phone. And after having your phone ring 35 times in 2 days, you tend to want to drink. Who would have ever thought that wine and Girl Scout cookies would have paired well together? But guess what? They do, just as long as you don't drink too much. So, what is the answer to this disease? Trial studies continue. Drugs come and go. What is on the market now? Only masks symptoms of Alzheimer's for a short period of time, or they don't work at all. I gave you the statistics. Numbers are not decreasing. Is it diet, lack of exercise, environmental, genetics? All I know is it's a heartbreaking disease for the family. Now you know why I ride, to raise money to find a cure for Alzheimer's. For the past 4 years, I have cycled in a Ride to Remember. This is a 3-day, 252-mile ride from Simpsonville to Charleston. And guess which month we do it in? July. Yep, the hottest month of the year. But if riding my bike with over 300 other cyclists and raising money helps find a cure during this hot summer days, then it's been well worth it. When I look at this picture of my mom taken last year, I still see the beautiful mom who took care of me and loved me, supported me through the good and the bad times. I owe so much to my mother. She often talks about being a burden, and I remind her that I'm sure I was not the easiest teenager. This truly is the cycle of life. You see, I never had children myself. My mom has become my child. Alzheimer's can make them act like children, hard-headed, set in their ways. I can do it type attitude, just like a 3-year-old. I would never wish Alzheimer's on anyone. And until you have a loved one with this disease, you cannot imagine the stress, the hurt, the pain that family members go through while watching their loved ones slowly fade away. Alzheimer's is like no other disease out there. It robs one of their life, their memories, their everyday functions, their ability to be the person they once were. We definitely need a cure. Let's end Alzheimer's today. Just think, it could be you. Won't you help?